Hi everyone, my best wishes to all who are watching me. Today, I've come to the Karakoram Highway, a road that crosses some of the highest mountains on Earth. Thousands lost their lives building it, yet every year, people still risk this journey. I wanted to find out why this impossible road exists. So, be with me, let's find out the fact.
The first time I saw this road, I couldn't believe it was real. A narrow strip of asphalt clung to the side of the Himalayas, suspended above roaring rivers and collapsing cliffs. Thousands of people died building it. Yet even today, one question remains: why risk everything to build a highway where nature never wanted one?
Standing at the edge of the Karakoram Highway, I felt smaller than I ever had before. Towering peaks disappearing into the clouds,
While the turquoise Hunza River thundered through a gorge thousands of feet below. The road twisted around sheer cliffs so narrow that every passing truck seemed to challenge gravity itself. This wasn't just another mountain road. It stretched for more than 1,300 kilometers, connecting western China to northern Pakistan through some of the highest mountains on Earth. Locals called it the eighth wonder of the world, but as I looked around, I couldn't understand how anyone had managed to build it here. Every few kilometers, I noticed scars across the mountainside where landslides had buried sections of the highway. Warning signs reminded travelers that falling rocks were a constant danger. Even today, nature was still trying to reclaim this road. As I took my first steps along the highway, I realized I wasn't simply following a road.
I was following the trail of one of the greatest engineering expeditions in modern history. A journey that would reveal sacrifice, ambition, and a story hidden deep within the Himalayas. The deeper I traveled, the more I realized this highway wasn't built through the Himalayas alone. It crossed one of the most extraordinary meeting points of mountain ranges on Earth, where the Karakoram, the Himalayas, the Hindu Kush, and the Pamirs all converge.
Few places on the planet bring together so many towering peaks, creating a landscape so rugged that, for centuries, it served as a natural barrier between civilizations. Yet hidden among these mountains, I began to notice traces of an older journey. Weathered stone paths climbed impossible slopes, while ancient rock carvings, worn smooth by time, still overlooked the valleys below. Long before the sound of engines echoed through these canyons, traders, pilgrims, and explorers crossed these same mountains along the legendary Silk Road, carrying silk, spices, precious stones, and new ideas between east and west. Standing there, I realized this route had always been far more than a passage through the mountains. The Karakoram Highway wasn't created from nothing. It followed a path that generations of travelers had risked their lives to cross for thousands of years. The only difference was that what once demanded months of exhausting travel on foot could now be completed in just a few days by road. But one question refused to leave my mind. If ancient travelers struggled just to survive these mountains, how did modern engineers manage to carve a highway into cliffs of solid rock? The story of this highway didn't begin with bulldozers. It began with a partnership that few believed could overcome one of the harshest landscapes on Earth. In the 1960s, China and Pakistan agreed to build a road linking their borders through the Karakoram Mountains. It sounded almost impossible. The terrain was unstable, the weather unpredictable, and many sections had no existing roads at all. Engineers weren't simply paving a route, they were attempting to carve one through mountains that were still rising as the Indian and Eurasian tectonic plates continued to collide. Construction officially began in the late 1960s, and the mountains fought back every step of the way. Workers faced freezing winters, thin air at high altitudes, constant rockfalls, avalanches, and raging rivers that erased months of progress in a single day. Heavy machinery often couldn't reach the work sites, forcing crews to drill, blast, and clear rock by hand. Every kilometer demanded extraordinary effort.
As I walked beside the towering cliffs, it became impossible not to imagine what those workers endured. There were no modern drones, advanced surveying systems, or satellite-guided equipment to make the job easier. Much of the work relied on determination, teamwork, and sheer endurance. The cost was heartbreaking.
More than 1,000 Pakistani and hundreds of Chinese workers lost their lives during construction, many buried beneath landslides or swept away by collapsing mountainsides. Their sacrifice earned this road another name, the Road of Friendship. Looking around, I realized the highway wasn't just built with concrete and steel. It was built with courage, perseverance, and lives that most travelers would never know about. Just when I thought I understood this highway, the mountains revealed another surprise. The Karakoram Highway wasn't truly finished when the last section of asphalt was laid. In many ways, the real battle had only just begun. These mountains are still rising today as the Indian and Eurasian tectonic plates continue to collide. That slow but relentless movement constantly reshapes the landscape, triggering landslides, rockfalls, avalanches, and even earthquakes. Entire sections of the highway have disappeared overnight, reminding everyone that nature never truly surrendered. As I continued my journey, I reached a place where the road simply ended. In 2010, a massive landslide buried an entire village in northern Pakistan and blocked the Hunza River. Within months, a lake nearly 30 kilometers long had formed, swallowing villages, farmland, and more than 20 kilometers of the original highway beneath its waters. For years, travelers could no longer drive straight through. Instead, they had to load their vehicles onto boats, cross the newly formed Adabad Lake, and continue on the other side. It was a powerful reminder that even one of the world's greatest engineering achievements could be brought to a halt by a single moment of nature's force. But what amazed me most was what happened next. Instead of abandoning the route, engineers returned to the mountains. They carved new tunnels through solid rock, built modern bridges across deep valleys, and reopened the highway once again. That's when I realized this road wasn't a one-time construction project. It had become an ongoing contest between human determination and one of the most unpredictable landscapes on Earth, and even today, neither side has stopped fighting.
As the journey continued, I realized the Karakoram Highway was no longer just a road connecting two neighboring countries. It had become one of the most strategically important corridors in Asia.
Every day, trucks carrying machinery, food, construction materials, and countless other goods travel between China and Pakistan through these mountains. For China, the highway provides a direct overland connection toward the Arabian Sea through Pakistan's Gwadar port, reducing dependence on longer maritime routes. For Pakistan, it serves as a vital link for trade, tourism, and economic development in its northern regions. But the highway's importance extends far beyond transportation. Over the past decade, it has become a central part of the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, or CPC, one of the flagship projects of China's Belt and Road Initiative. New highways, tunnels, bridges, power plants, and logistics networks have been built alongside or connected to this historic route, transforming what was once a remote mountain passage into a corridor with global economic significance. As I drove through the valleys, I could see the contrast everywhere. Ancient stone villages stood beside newly constructed bridges. Traditional caravans had been replaced by long lines of cargo trucks. The same route that once carried silk and spices now moves modern commerce across continents. Yet despite billions of dollars in investment, the mountains continue to dictate the rules. Heavy snowfall, landslides, glacial movement, and unpredictable weather still interrupt travel, reminding everyone that technology can improve the journey, but it can never fully control nature.
By the time I reached the highest stretches of the Karakoram Highway, I realized this story had never been only about engineering. It was about humanity's endless determination to overcome the barriers that nature places before us.
For thousands of years, these mountains divided civilizations. Empires rose and fell on opposite sides of the Himalayas, separated by towering peaks, glaciers, and unforgiving passes. Crossing them demanded extraordinary courage, and many who tried never returned. The mountains decided who could trade, who could travel, and sometimes even who could survive. The Karakoram Highway changed that forever. Today, a journey that once took weeks or even months can be completed in a matter of days. Families separated by borders can reconnect more easily. Tourists from around the world travel through the Hunza Valley to witness landscapes that were once accessible only to seasoned explorers. Scientists, engineers, traders, and local communities all depend on a route that generations before them could scarcely have imagined. Yet standing there, surrounded by some of Earth's tallest mountains, I couldn't ignore another truth. Every tunnel, every bridge, and every kilometer of asphalt exists only because people continue to maintain it. Without constant repairs, the mountains would slowly erase the highway, just as they have erased countless paths throughout history. Looking across the endless peaks, I understood that the Karakoram Highway represents far more than a connection between China and Pakistan. It stands as a reminder that every great achievement comes with responsibility. Building something extraordinary is only the beginning. Preserving it against the forces of nature is the challenge that never truly ends, and perhaps that is the real legacy of this remarkable road. As the sun slowly disappeared behind the snow-covered peaks, I stopped one last time and looked back at the road that had guided my entire journey. When I first arrived, I saw it as an impossible highway carved into the mountains. But after traveling its entire length, I saw something very different. I saw the lives that were sacrificed to build it, the centuries of history hidden beneath it, and the determination of people who refused to let nature have the final word. The Karakoram Highway is more than just concrete and asphalt. It is a reminder that humanity has always searched for ways to cross the impossible, no matter the cost. One question stayed with me. If these mountains are still rising and nature is still trying to reclaim this road,
Will the Karakoram Highway survive the next 100 years? Or is this extraordinary achievement only a temporary victory against time? I hope you all have liked the video. Please like it, comment below, and subscribe my channel. Thanks.